In the world of property investment, the last thing you want to do is make a bad decision. That's why it's so important that you speak with experts and you do your own research. I'm Julia Hatmaker, editor of Place Northwest, and I've assembled my own team of experts to learn a little bit more about the property investment scene. So joining me today, I have from Alliance Investments, Alex Thomas and Arik Agamian. So, Alex, tell me first, what is Alliance Investments?
We're a Manchester-based property investment company. We deal with lots of different clients, from developers to individual buyers across a wide portfolio of properties. Typically within the Northwest, that's how we started, but now we're looking, Birmingham, Leeds, Sheffield, London, all these different areas which we're expanding into. So plenty of different options for people across the UK. We like to look after clients and developers equally, so everyone's happy, providing up-to-date information, market analysis, and everything an investor would need to make the right choice.
We help create diverse property portfolios for clients, which are based on capital growth and income generation. And we need to give ourselves exposure to as many markets as possible. So we're lucky in that we've got a global presence with offices not just in the UK, but also in various international destinations.
Right. So what should we be looking for when we're considering an investment in property?
Well, things like location are really, really important. We obviously choose developers to work with that have fantastic sites, whether it be a office to residential conversion, but it needs to be in a city centre location that works, so it's got a university or it's close to a train station, these key factors that people put in, but also needs to be within the right market that has a good rental demand to provide those good yields for a client. So somewhere like Sheffield, for example, we're looking at a site which is near a cathedral, it's next door to a tram station. It's got all these key factors that are really, really positive and quite easy for normal investor to actually understand that these are key locations, and it's quite an easy one to explain. So with Manchester, again, we look near Piccadilly train station, Victoria train station. These key points are, from a location aspect, really, really strong.
And we've got a research and analysis team that go into a great level of detail on evaluating various markets. So for example, we love major cities. Manchester predominantly was the #1 city and is still widely regarded as the #1 city in the UK to invest in. But over the course of the last 3 to 4 years, we've now diversified. So all of the major cities in the UK, such as London, such as Birmingham, York, Leeds, Sheffield, all the major cities we're currently evaluating. From a client's perspective, I think one of the things that sets us apart is we're very much an educational service. We take a very educational approach to giving investment advice to our clients. We don't tend to shoehorn them into a specific opportunity because depending on their risk profile, it's important to understand what those clients' needs are. If you're a nervous first-time investor, perhaps something like an off-plan development is not for you. So we don't just have those, we have built complete opportunities where clients can benefit from immediate income. And I think that's quite important. And because we've worn the developer arm for so long, we know how important it is to guide clients through the entire process. And we also know how important it is for developers to ensure that when they're building a project, everything is overseen from start to finish. From the initial marketing of the site, selling it, helping with mortgages, with valuations, helping with renting the property afterwards. It's in effect a one-stop shop, which benefits both parties.
Now, you guys have both touched on location and the importance of that. And Arik, you mentioned the importance of global cities and looking at the big cities in the UK. So what would you say are the 3 cities we should be looking at the most in the UK when it comes to investment?
The 3 traditionally have always been London, Birmingham and Manchester. That's always pretty much been the case over the last decade or so, and I don't think that has changed. I think there's more of hype around Manchester these days. It's very much on the global map and it is widely regarded now as the #1 city to invest in, but there's also a very large percentage of investors that perhaps want a lower entry level, and that's why we're looking at other cities as well, such as Leeds, such as Sheffield, Preston. Anything with a university angle is also very good for us, somewhere where there's good potential for growth. We love university cities because young professionals come to study, they finish their studies, afterwards they fall in love with the city, they need to stay, they need a place to stay, and this is puts more strain on the housing market. And we always do a lot of analysis on cities where there are major regeneration projects. usually from a commercial perspective. If there's any world-class office space that's being built, it's going to be occupied by major multinational corporations. That in effect then attracts highly paid professionals. They pay
have
best
a nice
rents.
pool of young professionals ready to rent these properties, and that's kind of a key thing, isn't it? There's stuff like that. With Manchester, you've got First Street, which is obviously an unbelievable development. It's got 10,000 new staff ready to go in there in 2 or 3 years' time. So that's the kind of angle. Obviously, it's not going to be the same in each city, but that kind of office redevelopment or placemaking, which we talk about quite a lot, is very key.
In addition, just to evaluate cities, the quality of the development is very important, because from an investment point of view, 2 key factors that underline a successful investment: are you able to rent the property out? Are you able to resell it at a later date? So it's very important for us to have developments that appeal not just to investors, but also to owner-occupiers. Typically, the investors will benefit from professionals that pay the highest level of rent, which means the void periods are kept to a minimal. From a resale point of view at a later date, this is where you optimize and you realize the true value of the investment. Somebody else comes into the development, falls in love with the place, pays the highest price, which means you've got a liquid asset, you've got a nice exit strategy. So we try to oversee this entire process, and that first stage is working it backwards from that.
I have to say, one of the things I love is hearing about all the projects you guys are up to and where you're looking at investing, because it does feel like the market right now is healthy. Just based on what you're saying, you kind of sold me on a few schemes already. So would you say that that's true, that it's a healthy, like now's the time to get in kind of place?
Absolutely. I guess we're lucky in that we've got exposure to a variety of markets, and I think you have to do that in the role that we occupy in the marketplace. So we have clients from all over the world, from Singapore, from Hong Kong, from Shanghai. UAE is a big market for us. Turkey has become quite a big market for us over the last couple of years. We have a big presence in some major countries in Africa, such as Nigeria and Kenya. And it's just very, very interesting to see how the UK market is perceived on a global scale. It's seen as very safe, very secure. The process is very, very easy compared to other countries. And then we can assist clients with getting mortgages. Even the concept of an interest-only mortgage, it's quite an interesting concept that a lot of other countries don't have. And it's something that resonates with clients, where they can just purchase an asset in a major city. They can have the security of a sale from a legal point of view, because the system is there to protect their rights. And then that asset is hopefully going to appreciate on time. And they can purchase with yields of 5, 6, 7%. They can get finance up to 75% loan to value and just service the debt. And it just makes it very, very interesting, because they can get to generate income while waiting for the growth to take place. And they can't do that in a lot of their own countries. You look at house prices in Singapore, for example, the yields are close to 1.5 to 2%. There are rent controls and restrictions, and the prices are astronomical. So it makes sense for them to purchase something in the UK at a fraction of the cost and benefit from all those factors.
Yeah, I resonate with all Arik's points there. And I mean, the UK is obviously seen as it's got the long history of obviously the law as well. The things on the solicitor's side are very, very simple compared to other countries, and the process is so much easier over here. And we guide people through that. So we have an after-sales department which will help people get through to exchange. We'll then help them get through to completion, assist them with the mortgages. So we kind of see ourselves as like, you come to us, you'll have a nice property at the end, and you'll have a fantastic investment. So that's kind of where we position ourselves, and we distinguish ourselves from some of our competitors in the fact that we do have that sort of all-encompassing service, effectively, to get them all the way through to completion.
So wherever you are in your property investment journey, you guys are there to help with your expertise. And not only will you be a one-stop shop for them, you'll guide them through every process of the journey. Oh, it's fantastic.
In a nutshell, yeah.
Yeah. And to also sum up, looking broadly at property investment, it sounded like it was very clear again that we focus on our location. We know what kind of schemes we're after right now, but we also focus on the kind of development we're getting. And then make sure that you're speaking with experts who can help you out. Well, I feel like I've gotten a really good sense of Property Investment 101. Thank you guys so much for joining me today, and thank you for watching. If you want to know more about Alliance Investments and find out how they can help you make your next great decision, check out alliance-investments.com. And if you want to know more about the property scene in the northwest of England and North Wales, check out placenorthwest.co.uk. I'm Julia Hatmaker, editor of Place Northwest, and thank you so much for joining. enjoy the rest of your day.